the fire had more force than the water that quenches all things. For the world fighteth for the righteous.
There you
like
go.
the brother was saying. Go ahead.
Right, you know, and I was thinking about the scripture Revelations, where it talks about that woman that was delivered out of the wilderness, which represents Israel. But it even says there too that the earth's gonna help her. All these, we always bring it out, like these beasts, the animals are gonna be in allegiance with us. You know, we always give examples like with Daniel. You know, Daniel, when he was thrown into the den of lions, the Most High closed that lion's mouth. Just kept it shut pretty much so it wouldn't do him no harm. And you know, it was pretty much like was Darius? He was the king at the time. You know, he came in hoping Daniel was all right. He pretty much just saw Daniel just posted up by the lion, and he was marveling. You know, point is that
he was alive. David was alive.
Yeah. But the point is, all these things are created for. There you go. The earth's fighting for the elect, because, you know, like again, from the 2/3, all their mind that's trained to do is to do wickedness, and we know that when you put out wickedness, it actually does. It has an effect on the earth. It devours the earth. It hurts the earth. So the only ones who the earth wants to fight for is the ones who are not trying to hurt the earth or pollute it, which is the elect. Because the elect, they're the ones who go according to the Most High. They're the ones that the Most High gave them the right mind. Like earlier we were talking about how like the Most High, you don't just send a man out to the highways who don't know what to say or what to do. You know, that man has enough knowledge by the Spirit of Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, to nurture him, to get him out there and take care of what he's got to do. So when we're in the kingdom, we're going to be taking care of the earth. Because believe it or not, well actually no, believe it or not, it is going to happen. We're going to be, this earth's going to be refurbished back up to its full potential.
It's going to be refreshed.
The right way though. Because Esau, so-called white man, he does everything the wrong way. Makes synthetic materials that actually do way much more harm than good. All these toxins. You got oil spills all in the Gulf of Mexico.
They had an oil spill over here, west of San Angelo, in a little town called Barnhart, where they have railroad tracks and they're transporting that oil, and that oil collapsed, or that train collapsed and spilled all that oil in the land. A lot of oil, man. No telling. I don't know what, you know. All I know is that it's destroying. He's destroying things, and the dangers of taking out these elements, these different gases and elements out of the earth. That's why they got to be handled with care. They have on trucks, flammable or poison. You know, they're real cautious. Safety is real a priority in businesses now in that industry, because they know the consequences of oil spills, and it can get into the water lines, systems, and what are that going to do to the people? Give them cancer, make people sick. So like the brother's saying, all he does is things for worse.
I'll bring this out because this happened no more than 2 years ago. There had been a report on the news about some Edomite poachers. You know, they were, you know, Esau, man, he does everything for sport. That's what he does, man. You know, he probably found out oil, it powers up an automobile, it gets some money now. But now he likes, well, they got it on the TV, man, about the oil companies they're like, get out of the way, let me do it. That's all they gain to them. They don't care that they ruin the earth.
It's a race.
Yeah.
It's like they got that, they have an old TV series. I don't know if it was on the Discovery Channel or what History Channel, but it was called like the Black Gold.
There you go, yeah.
And all these different oil rig companies that were competing, who can, you know, drill the fastest down to the earth and extract these the oil, the gas. You know, it was all a race. And that's all Esau is, man. Like the brother was saying, it's a sport to him. He likes to brag. He likes to see that he made it. He got it. And no one else did it, but he did it. You know? That's being proud.
Yep.
But at the same time, he don't care. He don't care that there's consequences. Yep. As long as he makes, he's on top. That's the bottom line. He's on top. And he's looked at and admired as somebody. That America is some great place. It was at one time when the Israelites were here. But after Esau came, that was it. He
Second
cursed.
step foot
This earth, this land was cursed at that time.
Hey,
To the point of where it's not gonna be inhabitable anymore.
Yep. And better yet, though, you know, y'all heard about the movie Pocahontas, John Smith. Well, that was a real man that lived. That was real history. You know, but the way they set it up, well, it was fake. But it was like back in 1617 or 1620, I believe. Well, that's when they came over to, I think it was like Virginia. But I know that in that time, when those inhabitants, when the so-called white man came over, they actually made that land desolate because the diseases came over. But I know a part of Virginia, or parts on the where the 13 colonies were first at, it became a ghost town, and it didn't start until Esau came over here. So he's with the brother, you know, backing it up. That's true. As soon as he came over, but America became a ghost town because of the diseases they brought over. There were men dying at the age of like 18 because of how bad it was, how corrupt and how quickly it corrupted. Esau had made that place already. They had barely just set foot, and automatically people started dying.
It's just like all these oil companies that go to these different locations in the outskirts of the cities. They find these oil deposits. They knock down all the trees, right? And animals are probably destroyed in the process of it. And at that, they're drilling in the earth. They do what they call, I don't know the proper terminology, but they put dynamite in the earth and they blow up all the bedrock. Now, they could be messing with certain rocks that are set there. The Most High had put there in its proper lot, that big rock, to keep from like an earthquake from occurring at that area, or a sinkhole from occurring or something. But Esau, he don't care. As long as he gets to that oil deposit, he's gonna blow it up. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that they do is that after they're done doing their job at that location, it's like a little desert right there, man. Because while they're extracting all this oil, it's still there's oil spills. It's not gonna be like a great oil spill, but oil spills out. They have leaks from the pipes, and nothing's gonna grow there no more because it's already contaminated. And not only that, they'll leave metal pipes there. They'll leave their shit behind and they'll burn off to the next area. And man, over here in Midland, Texas, when I went over there to visit a friend. The highway to Midland is full of trash. And Midland is a place that is a place where that's all it is. It's nothing but oil business. And that highway, though, what I'm trying to say is that it's full of trash, man. Trash. And now over here on the Highway 67, where we go to work, it's a major highway now. It's full. They throw a lot of trash, man, but over here they're trying to keep up with it. They send people out there pick up trash. And I'm telling you, man, I saw like bundles of yellow trash bags full of trash. Just by these people coming in and out. And they don't care. They're throwing their trash out the window. If that's a small thing, right? Imagine what they're doing with the oil, with oil barrels, parts. They're just throwing them, leaving them there. They don't care. And they hire these pieces of shit oil field workers, and they do the same thing. And they have a word they call them oil field trash. It goes back to Esau, man. He don't care. I'll bring this out.
Yeah. This is. I don't know if you want to bring it out yet. It's Isaiah 15. And then pretty much the whole verse can get best, but we can do it.
This is Isaiah 24 and 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
And going back to the transgress, where the first one where he said transgress the laws, the Most High didn't ever say to trash out the earth, you know, because there was a way, there was a certain, the Valley of Hinnom. That was a place for Israel where they burned all their trash. All right, that was like their personal dump. And then they did it the right way. It burned it all up, and it went back to the earth. But Esau over here, man, they got landfills I've been to the landfill over here, man. You go there, the land, that's what a landfill is. It's man-made land, dirt put over a bunch of trash that people just dump out there. They flatten all the trash first, and then they put dirt on it, and then people can live on it later. You know, but Esau, man, that's all he does. He breaks these covenants. He goes against the law. The Most High told you how to take care of the earth. He didn't say to go drill in the earth. He didn't say if you're done with a certain meal, you throw it out on the ground with the plate, with your cups, whatever, and then leave it there. He didn't say, there's a rule for everything. Like when the animals died, you don't leave the animals there, but you're not supposed to touch the dead bodies. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do and take care of the earth. But Esau, see, that's why you can't rule the earth. That's why you so-called white man, you got to be destroyed, because you don't care. First of all, you don't care what happens to the earth, but secondly, you enjoy hurting the earth. You know, you actually enjoy it. Otherwise, like we were just speaking about that Black Gold show, you wouldn't be posting up all these TV shows about how like you're going out in the wilderness shooting all these animals for fun, or you're going out to a building and you're trying to do all these other wicked things.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth.
And that's what you do. Oh, that's what you so-called white man do. You abuse everything. You take everything out of its element. Like with the animals. I don't know how many commercials or TV shows, or I've seen videos of what do they call them? You know, like entertainment things. We all abuse the animals, as in, like I'm saying, you dress them up, or you put your head inside them. Which I remember, like someone told me about Sigrid and Roy. You know, that's what they deserved, man. They deserved to get their head ate up, pretty much. You know, but that's because you're taking them out of their element. You know that when you put an animal out of its element, you're supposed to kill it because you've defiled it. All these animals today, they should be dead because of what you've done to them. But you did that. You so-called white man, you're the one who put that wickedness out. You're the one who defiled the earth. You're the one who transgressed the covenant.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 17. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts, which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Right, because of the violence of the land. Again, you know, when we were speaking on earlier about all these nations that had their time to rule, Esau, you're the top of the most.
You're number one.
Yeah, you're the most number one. You're the number one nation.
The scripture said you're the border of wickedness. Mm-hmm. You're the number one. You outdo all them. You've over exceeded all the other nations.
You know, like I remember a video I watched of Man of Jacob, but a brother had made a comment that when he was talking to an Edomite, he was talking to a gay preacher Edomite. You know, and the Edomite asked that man, what did he do wrong? And the guy said, you're a gay choir preacher at a church. But he said the worst thing that you ever did though was that you were born an Edomite, because you're the border of wickedness. The so-called white man, he'll take something good and turn it into evil. Like it says about, you know, what the Pharisees and scribes did to a proselyte when they were trying to convert him, they made him twofold the worst child of hell. That's what you so-called white men do, but you over-exceed a double-born child of hell. Because y'all are a natural-born faggot. You cannot rule this earth. And like I said last week, not bigging myself up, I'm just saying, like I said, Esau, the whole world, the existence of all things cannot dwell with Esau ruling or being alive. That's why you got to be destroyed. Because while evil's on the earth, there's always a chance that they can try to rise up. That's why you're going to be dealt with.
This is Revelations, chapter 11, verse 17, saying, We give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and wast and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
There you go. And throughout all the prophets, the Most High, he called you the destroyer. You were the, like I said in Isaiah 55, is it 55 or 54? You're the smith or the destroyer created for the waste. But you know, that's what you were created to do. But you ended up, well, we already know you were that whipping stick to Israel, right? You were supposed to, like I said in Ezekiel 35, you were supposed to just deal with Israel on equal terms.
54 and 16.
Okay, Isaiah 54 and 16, you're the waster. You're the creator. You were created to be the waster, destroyer. But going back, you know, you were supposed to deal with certain things the right way. But you wanted to go and exceed what you're supposed to. You pretty much, you wanted to be like, you know what, God.
You just said, yeah, that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
You said to hell with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I want.
Yep.
That's where that whole vibration comes in. Do what thou willest. But everybody here in America has that same spirit, that vibration that you put out of your false doctrine, your philosophy.
Yep. You want me to go and read this now? This is Isaiah 14 and 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
Right, no, that's how he ceased.
Yep.
By Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is the one that's saving Esau for the last. Now you go to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and you look up the word, was it Esau or Edom? Either one. Look up both. But it will tell you clearly that he's the only one that has not found mercy in the Lord with the Lord. He's the only one that can't be forgiven. Right? And we're telling you who that kingdom is. All right? But that's who made him to cease. Brought him down to the ground.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hinder it. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. And stirreth up the dead for thee, even on the chief ones of the earth.
And so now the death, whether you want it or not, death is coming to you now, man. Death is coming to your kingdom. What does it say? Like during the time of the Egyptians in the house of bondage, when the Israelites were there and they're about to be delivered, what was the last plague the Lord sent? It was the plague of death that was taking the firstborn of every man child, or everything that was firstborn, which was death.
It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, and stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. And hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
Right, because all those nations at one time they reigned, but they never thought that America could be destroyed. But then they're gonna be astonished at it. And they're gonna be like, you became weak as us? You were brought down like us, destroyed like us?
Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
Right, and the worm's already working right now. That worm, which is a decomposition of your kingdom. You know, your economy. You know, the infrastructure of America. Its bridges are falling. They're collapsing. You know, roads are just out of nowhere having sinkholes. They fall into the earth. How people's living in their houses and just falling down straight to the earth. This whole place is the word is it's deteriorating. This place is done. This part of the world can't take no more. all the stress that it's under, this land, all this stress that it's under, it's tired. It's fighting back.
Yeah.